Danger in Time, Chapter 9, Into the Fire. Lily and May helped load patient after patient into waiting carts. Smoke burned Lily's eyes, but she pushed through the crowd and led May back to the spot where Lee rested on his mattress on the floor. Ranger stood up and barked. He was happy the girls were back, but they didn't stop to pet him or scratch his ears. "Put our things on the mattress," Lily said. "We'll have to leave the wagon." May grabbed her father's jacket from the wagon, shook it out, and buttoned up the few things she grabbed on her way out of the store. She tucked it beside Lee, along with Lily's bundle of bedding and clothing from the home. "Ready?" Lily said. She and May squatted side by side, grabbed the end of Lee's mattress, and dragged it into the mass of people rushing for the doors. The noise in the huge building grew louder by the minute. Even with two of them pulling, the mattress was heavy. Lily's cotton shoes slipped on the dust-covered floor. Ranger walked behind them. As they reached the doors, another automobile pulled up. A man jumped out of the driver's seat. Lily ran to him. "Thank you so much for stopping. My friend's brother needs to be taken." "Not in my automobile," the man barked and pushed Lily aside. Ranger crouched down and growled, but the man didn't come near Lily again. He rushed past her to help lift a white man's mattress into the back of his car and drove away. "Bring him here," someone called. Lily turned and saw the lady doctor who had treated Lee before. She was holding open the back of a cart, already loaded with two mattresses spilling over each other. "Load him in. You won't be able to ride with him, but you can walk up and find him. I believe they're being taken to the emergency hospital at Golden Gate Park." Lily and May pulled their bundles off the mattress. They crouched beside the doctor, and three Red Cross workers clasped hands under Lee's mattress and hoisted him into the cart. "All right now," the doctor called to the driver, and his horse trotted away up the street. Lily hugged her bundle to her chest. She watched until Lily's cart was swallowed up in the crowd. Finally, May tugged at her sleeve. "Let's head for the park." Ranger trotted beside the girls and nudged them along when they slowed down. The air was still thick with smoke and fear. He wanted to get them to safely back with their people. Maybe then he could finally go home too. The streets were filled with even more refugees now, fleeing from fires that spread through the city. Everyone was talking about what the flames had already devoured and where they were headed next. The sea of people moved into a giant wave up Market Street. But ever so often, Lily and May passed men running around the crowd, back into the flames. "Ah, Beck, what are you doing?" Lily called out to an older Chinese man who climbed over some twisted streetcar rails. "The fires are spreading that way. There's shelter up at the parks." "Fires will be in Chinatown soon," the man said. "I must save my family's papers," and he rushed off. May grabbed Lily's arm. Her eyes were huge. "Our papers," she said. "Father told me to bring them, but when Lee was hurt, oh, her face crumpled. "It will be all right," Lily said, but she knew that was a lie. American law forced Chinese people to carry papers wherever they went. At any time, officials could stop you and ask to see them, and if you didn't have them, if you left them at home or lost them, could be sent away forever. Lomo kept all of her girls' papers and the documents that gave her custody. Lily was sure she must have taken them when they left the mission house. But the whole Wong family would be in trouble without the documents that proved they were allowed to be here. Documents that May was supposed to have saved for them and didn't. May clung to Lily's hand. "I have to go back," she said. I have to go." Lily looked into the blackened sky behind them. She wanted to run from the billowing clouds, but she couldn't let May go alone. She squeezed May's hand. "I'll come with you." Together they ran back down Market Street into the smoke and ash. In Time, Escape from the Great Earthquake. Chapter 10. Chaos and Canaries. Lily, May, and Ranger hurried back towards Chinatown. They weaved through crowds of people, all rushing the other way, away from the spreading fires. Lily's throat burned from the smoke. She wished she'd thought to bring water from a pavilion, but all she had in her bundle was a bit of bread from breakfast. Was it really just this morning that the earth had shaken her awake? So much had happened since she slipped away from the mission house girls as they marched up the hill. Lily fished out the bread and broke off a piece for May and Ranger. They ate as they walked through the crowd. Hundreds of quiet, tired people surged towards the ferries, carrying what they could. Some had wrapped their things in bedcloth like Lily had. Others looked as if they simply grabbed whatever they found on their way out the door. Lily saw 3 people pass by with canaries and one with an empty cage. Lily wondered what happened to the bird. Maybe it had flown into the cool woods or off over the bay. Along with the refugees, there were more and more soldiers in the street. They galloped by on horses and stood guard in front of crumbling buildings, holding long rifles at their sides. Troops were clearing bricks and stone from the streets. They stopped practically all the men who passed by to work with them, but the soldiers ignored May and Lily until they tried to turn down one of the side streets. Areas closed off, a soldier said. He towered over them on his horse. May looked at him. I must get our papers. We live just down the street. And the soldier lifted his gun. Doesn't matter where you live. They're getting ready to dynamite buildings to stop the fire. No one is going in. They're blowing up our home? May's eyes were huge. They can't. May, we have to go. Lily tugged her friend's arm and pulled her away, with Ranger at their side. Lily couldn't imagine how awful it must feel to have a home and know it was about to get destroyed. She knew how much May's family needed those papers, but she also knew that arguing with the soldier would only make things worse. Maybe there's another way in, Lily whispered, but we'll have to be fast. They backtracked until they found an open street that led toward the Wong family's grocery store. How can blowing up buildings stop the fire? May said as they rushed down the side street. I'm not sure, Lily said, but she'd been watching the fires in the distance. They seemed to spread as if by magic, as if the flames could leap across streets from one building to another on the far side. Maybe by creating space between buildings so the flames had nowhere to go. But so far, the fire was winning. More and more people filled the streets, fleeing from burned districts in groups of 2 or 3 or 4. Lily caught bits of their conversations as they hurried past. No time to go back for the silver. Send word to Uncle Jacob in Oakland. Water and food at the park. Then a voice rose louder than the rest. Canaries, free. Can you take a bird? Lily spun around and saw a short, bald man in a doorway on the far side of the street. He held a cage out towards the sidewalk. Inside was a tiny gold bird. Oh, Lily gasped. She felt as if she'd finally glimpsed the sun shining through this dark afternoon. She left May and ran to the man. We can't, but you're giving them away? The man nodded sadly. Just got a big shipment in, and fire's heading this way. There's no way I'll be able to save them all. I'd rather let them go than have them perish. Lily, come on, May called from the street. Can you take one? The man held out the bamboo cage. The bird gave a little hop on its perch. Its tail feathers trembled. Do you sing? Lily said, and whistled a few notes. The birds didn't sing back. It looked out at Lily with scared black eyes. I can't, Lily thought, not with all they had to carry, not with the fire spreading and papers to save and still so far to go. But the bird's bright feathers reminded her of Gum Gum's shining golden scales, and her eyes burned. No, she thought. Yes, she said. She took the cage and hurried back to May. Lily, May said. What? He was going to be left behind, she said quietly. I couldn't leave him. But, May started to say something, but stopped. Let's go. It's not far. The crowd thinned, and soon they reached the Wong Street, but another soldier on horseback stood guard at the top of the block. He held up a hand when the girls started towards him. No one's allowed in the area, he barked. The mayor issued an order. Anyone stealing or looting is to be shot on sight. We're not looting, Lily blurted. I live here, May said, and I have to. No exceptions, the soldier said. Lily started past him. She could see the Wong store. It was so close. Please, May stepped towards the office. Lily pulled her back. We understand, sir, Lily said, and hustled May around the corner. What do you mean we understand? May cried. Tears made trails down her dusty cheeks. Without those papers, you can't force your way past the army, Lily said. But I have another idea.